To effectively manage resources across an enterprise, project and resource managers must utilize a blend of top-down and bottom-up capabilities. UMT360's Resource Manager app seamlessly integrates a web-based resource plan in Project Online and Project Server to simplify resource estimating, forecasting, and allocation. This intuitive solution provides project managers, resource managers, and portfolio managers with best-of-breed top-down and bottom-up resource management capabilities they need to maximize resource utilization. Let's take a quick look at a few of these powerful features in action. So we're inside Microsoft PPM here. As with all the other apps, UMT360 Resource Manager app seamlessly integrates with Project Online or Project Server to a point of confusion. You can't see where Project Server or Project Online stops and UMT360 starts. So let's drill down into one of the projects here, Innovation Management Framework. So I'm opening up this project. As we can see from the graphical workflow, we're early in the life of the project, actually in the stage of building out a business case. One of the forms we can complete here, coming from the UMT360 Resource Manager app, is the resource plan. If I open up the resource plan and just expand the view here, we see we already have a resource plan partly built out here with generic resource assignments pre-populated. When we look at the UMT360 web-based resource plan, on the left-hand side of the slider we have information in terms of the resources, whether it's a generic resource or a named resource. On the right-hand side of the slider, it's very easy to quickly come in here and update the resource estimates or forecasts. We're currently doing this in the plan dimension, and we have the option of doing it in full-time equivalents, FTE, days or hours, and at various granularities of our choosing. Here we're entering in quarterly. So just like Excel, I can come in and easily plug in the numbers. Super easy to add a new resource to the web-based resource plan here. I simply click on Add here, get a window into the entire enterprise resource pool, and then I can use advanced search, so I can search for an analyst in IT or by any location, let's say, and I see a short list here of named resources as well as the generic role here. So I could add the role here one or multiple times depending on the number of assignments. Now, too early in the life cycle, but if I wanted to look for a named resource, I can very quickly drill down here, look at those named resources and look at their availability. So availability is dynamically calculated so we can see who has availability to work on this project if that's the way we're going to add resources to the project. The UMT360 web-based resource plan will live with the project throughout its life. Here we're simply entering information in what's called a plan dimension, which is the early stage estimate and will become the ongoing forecast. But as the project moves through its life, we can enable additional dimensions. I can bring in the committed value coming from the resource manager or owner. I can start to sync actuals from the schedule, and I won't do that now. The other cool thing about the UMT360 web-based resource plan is you can manage the information top-down, just directly in here, just like you would do in Excel, or sync directly from the schedule. That is your choice and can evolve at different stages in the project's lifecycle. So it looks at a very easy way of maintaining a web-based resource plan integrated with the project. Now, another way of doing that, if I'm a project manager responsible for multiple projects, I can simply go to My Resource Plans, which basically will give me the ability to see all the projects that I'm responsible for and a very quick way of making edits to the resource plans in bulk. So here, if I just increase this view here in My Resource Plans, I see I'm responsible for about 6 or 7 projects here. We were just looking at Innovation Management Framework projects, so I can drill down here, see the information, and move to an area where I can update this web-based resource plan. So very easy to do that. By the same self-token, if I want to make quick updates to Health Assessment Reporting Tool, which is a project deeper in its life cycle, so we're actually in execution, so I'm seeing named resources here, I can make quick edits to the forecast of these projects, and in turn, it will update information, including associated cost information associated with the resources. So we've looked at ways to, from a project manager or demand author perspective, build out a resource plan to capture estimates and forecasts. Now, let's put on our resource manager or resource owner's hat so we can accurately respond to this. So I can move to another view here called My Resources. This view is predicated or built for the resource manager or resource owner. If I expand the view here, what we'll see is we've sorted the resources here by whether they're generic or not, but I could sort by or group by any criteria, role, location, or whatever I want. So I'm seeing a list of my resources, resources I'm responsible for. So I see the named resources here, and I also see the roles that I'm responsible for also, analyst, developer, etc. Now, the way we've configured this view is I'm seeing a number of dimensions that are available. I selected the plan dimension, committed dimension, as well as the availability dimension. But there are additional dimensions I can bring in. So we simply just added availability and plan and committed. Availability is actually something we call a calculated dimension. It's calculated directly off the capacity and the resource demand. So if I look here at one of my resources here, I can see Erlinger here, if I drill down, is actually over allocated for February through to May, if we look at his availability. But has availability thereafter. And if I drill down, I can see the projects that are requesting Erlinger, and I can even drill down and see the individual assignments. Now, as a resource manager, I want to be able to find the right people to fulfill the work that's being requested. So if I drill down here and look at the analyst role, I can quickly see that there's a project we just looked at, Innovation Management Framework, that has a number of assignments for the analyst. So I can select one or multiple assignments here, and I can click on this reassign function. What this reassign function allows me to do is search for someone that has the skill set to be assigned to this project. So I can use that same search facility as I showed you before, or I can simply match by clicking here, and we streamlined and filtered the enterprise resource pool just on analysts. And again, as I showed you before, we can very quickly look at who has availability, either total availability or time phased. So here we can see that Alex versus Molly has 13 days, approximately most of the periods, to work on net new projects. So I can add Alex in and save that. In essence, what I'm doing here is substituting Alex for the generic resource analyst. So that'll take a few seconds to siphon through. Now, if I drill down on Alex, so we're just looking at Alex now, I can see that, yeah, he's working now on entity data parsing, but also now has been assigned to innovation management. Now, if we look at his availability, we know he has availability, right? We can see all his assignments, and we can see he has availability. Now I can simply update the commitment by either in bulk clicking on these and in bulk committing, in other words, dynamically overwriting planned or committed with my planned data, or simply come in here and manually update the committed. So as I update committed here to match the plan, so point 1, we'll see that the availability is dynamically updated. So as a resource manager, I can see what my resources are working on. I can see the demand, the upcoming demand, and I can find the right person to work on that demand, and then at the same time manage the associated commitments. Now, as a project manager, I can receive that resource and utilize that resource on my project as I feel fit, and continue to provide ongoing forecasts either through the schedule or the UMT360 web-based resource plan. And then as a resource manager, I can assess the performance against the original commitment. So if I come in here and add simply my planned versus committed here, add another dimension, save that in. At any point of time, I can see how we're performing planned versus commitment. So if you look here for Alex on the other project, enter data processing here, have planned a 0.2, committed a 0.1. So we're showing that the forecast is greater than the original commitment. And as a resource manager, I can respond to that. So this is just a quick look at some of the capabilities included in the UMT360 Resource Manager app. Please contact UMT360 to find out more about this solution. UMT360 apps are developed based on years of experience helping organizations optimize and extend their Microsoft Project Online and Project Server capabilities. Available for a fraction of the cost and eliminating the need for expensive and risky customizations, these powerful apps can be deployed individually or in concert, reducing the time to value and ensuring that you have the right tools at every step of your PPM journey.